Welcome to another edition of Chronicle365. This is day 79, episode broadcast 79, whatever you want to call it. It's Chronicle 79 slash 365. I'm Kenny, your host, and I'm joined today on this wonderful NerdEdWed Wednesday morning edition of Chronicle 365 with the wonderful
Oh
Jessie.
wow, it's Wednesday.
Wait, it is
Pretty
Wednesday.
good. I forgot what day it was.
Yes, it is Wednesday. And we are every Wednesday we do we bring the show down from the late evening edition to the daytime edition, pretty much so that I can actually have a date every once in a while with my wife, which would be good, being that I'm doing this show every single day of the year, as opposed to most podcasts that do it like once a week or 2 or 3 times a week. This is like every single day. But
those people are smart.
yes, and not gluttons for punishment. But today we're discussing Sherlock on Chronicle 365. Very, very excited. It was that is a show that I just picked up on not shortly after I got into Doctor Who, and frankly, I'm now becoming addicted to like British TV. Because they come out, they're churning out good quality stuff. Like BBC knows.
Oh, they always have.
So I'm now huge into Sherlock as well as Doctor Who. We're gonna go probably crazy spoilerific into the show because they're done with season 2. They've started filming season 3 now. Very, very excited about that. But we're going to go probably not like super, super deep into the mythos of Sherlock, if you will. But we'll go, we'll start talking about, the different episodes. And probably I should bring up Wikipedia so that I can have each episode, like the synopsis up in front of me. Because I think going
What
through...
is that?
Right, let's see. So anyway.
We don't need to be exact.
No, not exact, but I mean, I like to be able to have it up for reference at least. Because, again, it is... Now, the show started back in 2010, and for me, I'm just like, how the heck did I miss this debut for the first season? How did I miss the fact that this actually came out? How long have you guys been checking this one out?
Well, actually, we just started 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
But when I was up at my parents' once while Darren was out, Sherlock had just started. They had the first 2 episodes on.
Gotcha.
And I watched the first one. Well, actually they had the whole first season because I watched the second half of the 3rd episode with my dad, and I was just, this is so confusing, but it's so cool. What is going on? Why is Sherlock texting? This is not appropriate. But it makes sense that he would text and not be on the phone, because who the hell talks on the phone?
Right. I mean, well, see, the thing is with Sherlock, that's the whole thing. They've modernized it, and of course, the U.S. side of things, they've created Elementary with the dude from Hackers and Lucy Liu. And I
actually still haven't seen Hackers.
Wait, what? Okay, you need to...
Yeah, Darren keeps telling me, oh, we're going to watch this, and we never do, and it's really...
It must be done. It seriously must be done.
Every night when I go to bed, there are tears in my eyes because I haven't seen Hackers yet.
If anything, for the nostalgia's sake, because it's not really a good movie. I mean, to be honest, it just really, really isn't.
Yeah, I've heard.
Sorry, my wife brought me one of these humongous, not product placement. I'm not getting any advertising dollars yet from them, but gigantic smart water. This thing's huge. I hate water bottles because they don't proportion them right to stand up properly, especially while you're driving. Anyway, side tangents. Sherlock, going back to that. Started out in 2010, and one of the first things that I noticed about the series was the fact that it's like every episode's a mini movie. Well, it's not even mini because it's an hour and a half, so it's a full movie. Every episode has that cinematic quality. I don't know what the budget is for the show, but it really is I mean, it's up there. I mean, the
Yeah.
production quality is stellar. They do it in 1080i. That's how it's broadcast for HD. So technically, they're kind of showing off that look, you don't need to spend, up in the 10, 20, 30 million dollars for a movie when you can do quality storytelling for on the cheap and still make feature length. And I have to say, the actors, stars, and this is for people. This part, I guess, is for people that have no idea what Sherlock's all about. It stars Benedict Cumberbatch, if that's how you pronounce his last name, and
That
Martin
is right.
Freeman. What was that?
That's not how you pronounce his last name.
How do you
It's
pronounce it?
Freeman.
Oh, oh,
I'm just joking.
I don't know. But
I'm
he
just joking.
uh, okay.
I'm
All right.
being a jerk.
It's all good. But looking at this though, I mean, we'll start with Martin, who plays Watson. And he has been in several um bigger movies that are kind of cult favorites here in the States. Of course, you have The Hobbit that he's been in just recently, but he was also in Hot Fuzz. Have you seen Hot Fuzz?
Yes.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yes?
That
Are
is such a
you
good
kidding
movie.
me?
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Shaun of the
Yep.
Dead. He was in Love Actually. So he's been in a bunch of great, a bunch of great movies, and now to have him on here as Sherlock, it's kind of a different type of role than anything that I've seen him in, really, to be honest. Normally, he's kind of just like that meek, low key. Uh, chill guy, kind of just like he's your everyday guy, But Watson, he's very very intelligent. He has a little bit of an edge to him. I like the fact that they made him a like a combat medic as opposed to just a doctor. That was a nice little twist.
That's kind of basically what he was because he was a medical doctor in the army during the whatever those wars were called in the 18 somethings with the somethings in that country.
In that time
Way
period
back in the
stuff.
I know my history.
As every literary major that watches this is like, oh my god, these people. But I mean,
No, historian.
I haven't read Sherlock Holmes, like the original Sir Arthur Conan Doyle books, in
You,
years. I haven't. No, I've read
okay.
them, but I haven't read
I
them in
thought you
years.
meant at all.
Oh no, 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 no! They were actually some of my favorite growing up.
Yeah,
And of
mine too.
course, he's picked up popularity since Robert Downey Jr. had, came in, did the role with what's his name? His name is completely and totally escaping me right now. Played Watson in the
That
movies.
person.
Yeah, that
Jude
person.
Law.
Jude Law, thank you. And you know, it's kind of interesting to me now that we have cinematic takes on these classic characters, and now being that TV is proving to be almost better quality in some instances than movies, like with again shows like Breaking Bad, Walking Dead, Sherlock, Doctor Who, even more so more so now with the modern Doctor Who as opposed to the 2005 2006, like early with Christopher Eccleston, early David Tennant. Those were more TV serials. Now, when you look at, I mean, they just released the posters for the first 4 episodes of the second half of the Doctor Who season, and they all look like theater posters. I mean, they are really taking the production value up. Yeah, yeah, it looks really, really good. So I think now with I think we're going to see a lot more of this happening. And just like I suspected, we're going to take a brief pause, which, of course, for those that are watching on YouTube, after I cut this, we're going to do a little bit of magic. I'm going to be sitting here, and then in like 2 seconds, there's going to be a baby. And all right, here, let's see. I'm going to do this just because right now, screw it, I'm just going to say it. All right, 1, 2, 3, baby. So yes, I'm back to the show. For everyone watching, you'll have no idea what just happened, but
Nope.
I now have a baby who just woke up. His hair is all frizzy, but it's all good. Anyway, so back to I don't even remember what I was talking about now.
We were talking about
Martin
Doctor
Freeman.
Who cinematic awesomeness
Yes. So
of shows nowadays.
well, Sherlock now has that bit of quality to it for the TV version. Now you have to forgive me. I have a hard time remembering uh, some of the books that were that some of the stories were pulled from. Now I know that Hounds of Baskerville, which is in season 2, was pulled from the books. But Jesse, I think you might be able to give me a better
Yes,
idea. What was were any of the other stories, or were all of the stories pulled from the books?
yes. Study in Pink was based off Study in Scarlet.
Okay.
Um, Hounds of Baskerville.
Uh,
What was it?
you had, let's see, you have,
The Hound of the Baskervilles is what it was based off of.
gotcha. You also
And
had
then Reichenbach Falls. Huh?
Blind Banker was the second episode.
Forfeit.
Uh,
The yeah.
now was that one based on any of the books as well,
It's
or?
not working. Yes, it was based on. I'm not. My internet's not working. This is great.
It's okay.
This is
Um,
awesome. They're all based on books.
so they are all based.
Every single one of them.
Gotcha,
They
gotcha.
are all based on books.
Right on.
I
Let's
don't
see.
know if the season 3 ones are. I would imagine because there's a lot of stories, but also too because of where they started, they can just make up cases and it'll be awesome because they know what they're doing. So they
Absolutely.
could just be like, "This thing is just totally off the top of our heads, but it works," and people would be like, "Whoa, this is great! This is awesome!" And what? It's not based on a book? Wow, that's amazing. It should be. We should write a book that's based off of it, but set in the 1890s, and this is perfect.
Well, see, the cool thing about
Or something.
the way that they've done Sherlock Holmes is, of course, they've had to modernize it, like we were saying, with Sherlock texting. You have modern weapons. There's no little 6 shooters that they're dealing with. You now live in a world of tasers, medical experiments, chemical warfare, stuff like that they've kind of uh, meshed into the storylines. But I have to say, Benedict Cumberbatch's performance as Sherlock, the having the little neurotic little ticks that he does, and the subtle changes whenever he gets irritated, or he's thinking, you see like his cheeks move a certain way, or he'll swallow a certain way, or his eyes will even kind of twinkle. He does a lot of facial acting as opposed to just generalized talking.
You really pay attention to him, don't you?
Yes, I do, because they do a lot of close-up shots on the character, and then they even reference it. Watson. There was one episode where Watson's like, "You're doing it again." He's like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, that's what made me notice, like your cheeks." And he's like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Whenever you think that you're superior or that you think that you're being clever, your cheeks move a certain way." So I actually rewound it on Netflix. I was like, holy crap, he actually did it. He really did that. So him throwing in those, of course, he's taking on direction from the script and all that good stuff. It's still it's acted very, very well.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things, again, not really going super deep into the series, but one of my favorite things, which was, I think, on the last episode. If not the last episode, it was the second to last episode of season 2, where he needed to go think, and he said, "Shut up! I'm going to my mind palace." He's like, "Leave the room. I'm going to my mind." And they're like, "Mind palace?" And he's like, "It's where he goes to think. Just don't ask." But then they show him going in and working on deducting everything, and
Yeah.
the layer after layer after layer of him going through, all these different things and going from like word association. Now I find myself doing that, but it's like on a very, very, very basic level. It's like I'll start laughing about something, and Tosh will be like, "What are you laughing at?" And I'll be like, "Fish sticks." She's like, "Why?" She's like, "Why fish sticks?" And I was like, "Well," and then I won't say it as rapid fire as him, but I'll be like, and I've done this ever since I was a kid. I was like, "Well, see, I was thinking about this Nine Inch Nails song, Yeah, I was like thinking about the Nine Inch Nails song "Perfect Drug," and while I was listening, thinking about that, I was like, you know what? I remember McGruff, the crime dog, used to say, don't do drugs. And then I was thinking, you know what? The crime dog, his fingers look like fish sticks, and I really could go for like some fish sticks. But if it was a crime dog, would it be like hot dog fish sticks? And then I just started laughing, and she's just like, "You're weird." Not quite deducing a crime. Did you want to give your little opinion as well? Every
Of
time we
course
do
they
that,
wouldn't be.
what was that?
I said, of course, he says, of course they wouldn't be hot dog fish sticks. What are you talking about?
Every time we do the show, he's going to give his little opinion. I do believe, if he's awake, that is. But no, what would you say is your favorite aspect of Sherlock?
Um, I don't know. There's a lot of little things. I don't know.
I
What are
totally,
you even asking, man? What does aspect even mean?
I
Oh
totally put you
man,
on the
I'm
spot.
losing everything.
No, what? Well, again, one of my favorite things that they do on the show though is they don't do the him figuring out everything to the point of it being overkill. They're where where they'll do like the little letters over the screen where if he's reading something he doesn't have to actually read it out because all of a sudden boom you'll see it put on the screen like if he's reading a text or if he's
Right.
looking at something on the screen on his computer. One of the also funnier aspects of the show for me is he's constantly asking Watson for something even though he's not there, and he's like, "Did you bring the milk?"
Yeah.
I didn't know we needed milk. He goes, "Well, I asked you when? Like 3 hours ago. I've been gone for a day. I figured you show. I figured you show up at some point in time." And he's just like, "Okay."
I
Um,
when he asked for a pencil, he's like, you know, where's that pencil I asked for? When did you ask for it? I wasn't here. It's, that part, he throws the pencil and he catches it.
mhm.
It's awesome. He's not even looking at him.
They kind of do the whole. He's almost like otherworldly with his intelligence. Um, One thing that I do like is they don't give him the super fighting ability that they did with Robert Downey Jr. In
Yes,
what?
that wasn't super. It's
Oh,
just
come on.
smart.
No,
He's
it may be
he's
smart,
trained.
but he's sitting there and he's like, he's anticipating every single move. And I guess the same thing could be said for the
It's like
Sherlock of the TV show.
chess, but with fists.
Because every single time he got, now, did you see the most recent Sherlock Holmes movie, the sequel, where they brought Moriarty in?
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
the fight sequence at the end of that, where they were both,
That
fighting
was
and countering,
hilarious.
that was good.
Yeah.
But speaking of Moriarty, which we probably could talk about him for the rest of the stinking show, the
Oh,
Moriarty in the BBC version is brilliant.
I
Absolutely.
love him.
I wasn't sure if I was going to like him when he started, I don't know, talking like this every once in a while.
Why wouldn't you? That's hilarious.
It's hilarious, but I was like, why is Moriarty Mr. Crazy Super Calculated as well? Which I like the fact that they made him kind of small, like a small, tiny little man. But they made him really um, almost like TV show version of the Joker, but incredibly intelligent, not just crazy. I
Well, he
mean,
is.
he exactly is. But I like the fact that he just wants to. It's not really looking at him as an opponent, but he just wants to play. He's just like, I'm sick of regular people, so I just want to be able to play with someone that's on my level. And now we're going to dive into some deep spoiler territory here for the end of season 2. So I'm going to give you like 3 seconds. I'll count down from 3, and then if you don't want to be spoiled for the end of season 2, then turn away now. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Did he actually? And this is your final warning. I'm spoiling like the very end of the episode of season 2. Do you think he actually killed himself?
Moriarty?
Yes.
Well, I asked Aaron the same thing, and he's like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to fake blowing your brains out of the back of your skull.
But it's also kind of hard to fake jumping off of a building and slamming your face into frickin' cobblestone.
I have a thing about that. I have a theory. This is why he needed Molly.
Okay.
Because she is a mortician?
Mm-hmm.
And so she gets a cadaver, and she kind of, whatever, they work with it to make it and put it in his clothes and everything. And then he pre-records the phone call. So the entire time he's talking to John, he knows exactly how John's going to react to anything he says, and he knows that John is going to show up while he's standing on the ledge. So he just pre-records it, or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's talking at that time. But it's the cadaver that's standing there, and they just knock the cadaver down off the building, and John goes over. I mean, he's kind of in shock. He just watched his best friend forever,
BFF,
jump off a building. He's kind of going to be in shock. What the heck is happening? And then blood and dead person and crowd of people. He's not going to be able to really look at him and be like, hey, that curl of hair is kind of out of place, or his eyes aren't exactly the right color. They're not going to be doing that. He's going to be freaking out like, oh my gosh, he's dead, and I don't know what to do with myself, and Kalen's is high. And so
I could see that, because if he's already pre-calculated out what Moriarty's going to do, knowing that Moriarty's going to end up shooting himself.
Well, he didn't expect that.
Well, true. But then again, it's Sherlock. Maybe he did.
No, he calculates worst case scenario. That might have come into play, but it wouldn't have made a difference on his plan. He's always going to plan for worst case, but hope for best case. And so he was hoping he'd be able to get Moriarty to just, call off everything and, okay, we're done.
Right.
And Moriarty goes, haha, no. And, oh, okay, I guess I have to do worst case after all.
True. Very true. Now, I also, going back episode before the season finale of season 2 with the woman, I loved that entire cat and mouse thing that they had going in that entire episode, where she was trying to...
You mean the first episode?
Was that the first episode? I thought that was
the first episode.
Oh, because the second episode was
Scandal and Bill Gravier?
Yes. And if you need to get him, that's totally fine. Yes, with the woman, that was... I love how she's like, well, what are you going to go in? And she's like, oh, I'm going to go in, dressed for combat. And do you need to go get him? Go ahead. That's fine. I think you muted yourself. And we'll go ahead and... Alrighty.
Just keep talking. Keep talking about Irene.
Okay, well, and of course, with the... I don't think we have any viewers right now, so you'll be able to edit all this out, and so will I. Through YouTube. We'll just bring the video down and fix it. Anyway, that whole entire episode was great cat and mouse. Someone that was, again, kind of on par with him up until the very end when he figured out the password for the phone. I actually, to be honest, I didn't see the very, 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 very end coming when he was the one holding the saber. I did. You did?
Yeah, heck yeah.
I just thought that they were going to kind of do like they were going to lift the saber and then go to black, and you would just hear a shunk.
Nope. I mean, that was a possibility, but it was a very slim possibility. The second Moriarty said, "There is no way," we made sure of it this time. He said something like Sherlock himself couldn't have messed it up. It's like, oh, he messed it up.
Gotcha.
She's not dead.
Right. Gotcha. I think that they've already slated it they've already signed on for seasons 3 and season 4. So I think that both of those are going to be very, very I just hope that the release schedule isn't pushed like, one episode every 3 months. That would suck. But I could actually see that happening still, being that they're all an hour and a half long,
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, my question is just because I only see the stuff that comes through either BBC America or online, and it seems pretty seamless. Like there's no like commercial breaks. When you guys watch, when you well, actually no, you guys have only watched it on Netflix as well, right?
Yeah,
See, I've cut my cable out. All I have is just internet, and and like four local channels
yeah.
with an antenna. So I'll be checking out this as well as Doctor Who, all that, all online. Luckily, we live in a world now where all of that is available to us. But
Yeah.
I wonder whether or not they actually run these all straight through. You know, no, you're not supposed to eat that.
I don't know how they do any
It,
of it.
it's all that British redcoat TV. Wow, I really sounded southern there.
That was
Anyway,
ridiculous, man.
that was terrible. That was
That was
absolutely,
awful.
I know. But anyway, so yes, we are going to. So just so you guys know, we will also be doing a evening chat with me, Jesse, and Didge. Maybe once every week, once a month. I'm not sure when we'll do it. But that's going to be. We're going to do some Who talk, Doctor Who talk. Because I am all caught up with the series. Didge and Jesse are catching up. They just finished season 2 of the modern series,
Yeah.
which I think I might have spoiled a little something something.
What? No, you have spoiled nothing that I haven't already. Well, maybe you spoiled it for Darren, but he probably forgot already by now. So
So definitely be on the lookout for that. NerdEdWed, we'll do this every Wednesday where we go through some random nerdetry topics. And if you guys have any suggestions, post it on the comments on YouTube. And yes, Adzuki.com is definitely coming very, very soon. We've made some really good traction on it. So you guys will be able to interact with us during the shows as well as post comments in the comment sections as well. So for this edition, this minorly short edition of Chronicle 365 today, from Kenny and Jesse, we will talk to you guys next time.